Okay, I'm running the MediaFrame browser on a 900 megahertz laptop with 512 megabytes of RAM on an NVIDIA GeForce To Go graphics card with 32 megabytes of RAM. The application is written entirely in C# managed code and the managed code APIs for DirectX 9. Right now you're seeing thumbnails of images and videos stream onto the screen. If I want to now, I can move the cursor over and select different images. I can double click on an image and have a full resolution version shown. I can also double click on video and have a full motion video shown. I can dismiss it very easily by clicking. Now I'll start showing you some of the features of the program. One paradigm that we use over and over again is the idea of being able to move into an area and see the corresponding images and thumbnails highlight based upon the properties. So for instance, right now I've moved into the photo area and all the photos have highlighted. If I moved into video, all the videos have highlighted. If I click on this, it then selects those images in yellow, and now I can filter. And you just see the remaining images on the screen. And we use that over and over again. So for instance, if I move into the keyword area, you can see them highlight as I move through the space. And if you move into the actual images themselves, you can see that on the left, the keywords Computer Museum and Gordon have highlighted, and a tooltip has popped up showing that this piece of video, which was taken on that date, has been annotated with the Computer Museum and Gordon keywords. Okay, I'll show annotation a little bit later. If I move into this area, it's very easy now to select based upon Computer Museum and filter. And now the keywords that you see are those keywords that correspond to this remaining set of images. So for instance, it's now very easy for me to click on Gordon. In fact, I can double click, which highlights and filters. So I'll double click on that. And you just get all those images of Gordon at the Computer Museum. This is a very powerful paradigm. It's the equivalent of doing a fairly complicated SQL statement, but most people don't think in SQL, so we think this is a much easier way to do it. You can also do other kinds of queries. So for instance, I can select Marin and Nature Shots, and then filter. And this is a union query. We've gotten all those that have been categorized with those. Some other ways of doing union queries are by typing into the keywords. So I'm going to type M, and notice all the images, all the keywords with M have been highlighted on the left. I can further narrow that down to MA, and now we get Marin headlands, Mariner socks, and Marin all highlighted. And then I can hit R and hit return, and we only get those images left. So we use that paradigm over and over again for narrowing the set. But once you've narrowed the set, it's very important to be able to take some selections and put them in a temporary area. So for instance, I'm going to take these, and by hitting the 1 key, place it into a temporary holding bin. I can take another set of images and then put them into another holding area. Okay? These holding areas or bins are very useful. We can right-click on them and do a number of different things with them. We can assign keywords. That's one way of assigning keywords to a group. We can make movies out of them, send them via email, send them to devices, view as a slideshow, all the things that you might want to do to a group of images. Okay. It's very important to see the correspondence. You can see that as I float over this, we see which images are in that bin. I go over here, which images are in that bin. And likewise, if I move over this, I can see that that's in that bin, that's in that bin, or this is in both. Another way that we maintain the correspondences is that when you do an action on this, you'll see it take place in all places at once. So for instance, if I rotate the right, you'll see it rotating here and in the 2 bins. Let's watch that again as I rotate to the left. It takes place in all places at once. Okay? These bins are even more useful when you start collecting numbers of thumbnails from a number of different areas. So for instance, if I click on Thanksgiving, throw them into the 2 bin just by hitting the 2 key. It's just added a bunch of different images to that. I can open up the 2 bin by double clicking on it. And now if I want to, I can click on something and remove that just by hitting the backspace key. You can select things by more complicated procedures. So for instance, we have face detection built in from MSR Asia. I can click on faces and select all the faces in the machine in this group. And then I can, if I want to, throw away all those images that don't have faces in it. If you try to throw out images from the master group, the system complains because we didn't want to make it easy to throw out your digital negatives, your masters. If you want to, you can delete the item forcibly, but we didn't want to make that too easy to do, since you might lose your originals. Okay, another important aspect of the program is being able to organize based upon this metadata. One bit of metadata that's present in all the thumbnails is the time of when it was taken. Right now it's organized chronologically from left to right and top to bottom, but we can actually cluster them based on the time of them when they were taken. And it naturally clusters based upon the breaks of when you're shooting pictures. You might put the camera down for a little while and then take some more images, put it down. And if we want to, we can say, okay, break it out even further. And it will naturally figure out where the largest gaps were when you took them. It's very easy to drill into any of these columns. I can just double click and drill down. Double click further and drill down. This is especially useful for drilling into video or cliplets, where we can get to the exact moment where an interesting event might happen, where you saw the elephant, without having to scroll through video tediously. And once you're there, you can always assign a keyword. So now we've assigned the zoo keyword to this. In fact, this is how most of the keywords were applied to this set. If we want to, we can drill into this column. And you can see that as I go over Mariner Socks, all the Mariner Socks column was selected. All that needed to be done was clicking here, and you can assign a keyword. In fact, let's actually look at creating a new keyword. Flowers. Okay. And now I'll just click, click, click on these, and right-click to assign flowers. Okay. Now if we show everything, it's very easy to get back to flowers. Another important principle in browsing this space is to browse based upon similar images. First, we do similar based upon time. So for instance, if you wanted to have all those pictures that were taken near a certain date, it defaults to 4 days. But if we want to, we can say, oh, within a month. It's very easy to select those images. I'll select over here and filter this set down. Furthermore, now we can select similar looking, again using some code from MSR Asia that takes a color histogram and some feature detection, and I can click on this image and I find similar images, or this image and find similar images. Very useful if you're looking for images very close to the one you've got selected. All of these features work in multiple views. So for instance, if I go into a 2D scrolling view, I have complete control of the size of the thumbnail, smoothly moving between different sizes and scrolling through the space. If I want to, I can still click on an image, add it to a bin, find some other images. I like this one, and add it to a bin. Right. That's all the features of the program. One last aspect is that I wanted to show you that this truly is done in 3D. So we can move the viewpoint around and actually have the interface move.